I'm Tad Stones, the creator of The Terror That Flaps in the Night, the troll that haunts the tweets of crime, the rickroll of justice, and the viral takedown of villainy, and you are listening to the St Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast. Ooh.
Happy Valentine's Day, Darkwing Dunce. Welcome to the St Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast. I'm your host, Mike Russo, and...
Tiffany Silverbraun.
Hey, Tiff, what is new?
Nothing much. Getting ready for Valentine's Day.
Although when this thing drops, it's going to be Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Or not if you don't celebrate it. I know lots of people don't like the holiday, so I guess it's just a Monday for some people. Either way, here we are. What are your Valentine's plans, Tiffany? Anything you doing with the girls?
No, not really. I think we're just gonna have dinner and that's it.
To be honest, I think that's our plan too. Although anything could change, we're recording this a week before Valentine's Day, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing. Usually I just make dinner, and we just have a nice, day in, nothing really crazy. I guess that's our Valentine's Day discussion.
I'll probably get some presents.
What do the girls do at school? Are they even able to do Valentine stuff because of COVID, or?
Yeah, they do the little cards, the exchange, and you're supposed to get some for every person in the class, which is definitely different from when I was a kid.
When I was a kid, it was a total Charlie Brown thing. You only got things if the other kids liked you.
Yeah, or like Ralph Wiggum.
Exactly. Nobody chose me. But yes, these days it's exactly how they do it. I don't really know if my daughter's allowed to bring things in. I better find that out soon. Before all the pharmacies sell out of their Valentine's cards. But at my job, we're letting the kids bring in something, again, as long as they bring in one of everything.
Yeah.
For every kid. It's just the paper Valentine stuff, like at CVS or Walgreens. They might come with lollipops or something. But we make a big big box to put everything in, very much like the Charlie Brown special.
Yeah.
And our school, the top floors are senior apartments. Normally we go up there and we give the Valentines to the seniors, and they really love that.
But so nice.
But obviously we can't do that because of COVID. So we're still going to make the cards and send it to them anyway. And we're also making Valentine cards for veterans as well. So,
That's awesome.
we try to do really nice things where I work. Our building is like the town it's in. It's a big landmark. There's a theater inside of it. There's the apartments. There's the school. So, we get a lot going on where I work, and we try to do a lot for our community. So we get to do stuff like that.
Nice.
But for the most part, personally, Valentine's Day, for me and my wife, and even Helena, not really even a holiday she cares about. Her favorite holiday is Easter. I don't know why it's Easter over
Helena?
Christmas. Yeah, Helena's favorite holiday is Easter. She just loves Easter. She's obsessed with Easter. She loves it.
Do you hide stuff?
Eggs? Yes.
Or baskets or anything like that?
She gets a basket, but the Easter bunny hides the eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she goes, but not like not the real eggs. We just the plastic eggs with candy inside.
Yeah, we do the same thing, and we do the bunny prints everywhere.
Oh, that's cool. Never thought of that.
It's super fun.
Yeah, but we're getting ahead of ourselves by a couple of months here.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope you guys have, whether you're celebrating or not, I hope you're having a nice day. And before we get into the comic, Tiff, what are you watching these days?
I guess I watched the new Guillermo del Toro movie, Nightmare Alley.
I've heard of that. I haven't
It,
seen it.
it was okay. It was a remake of an old movie, and I think I still prefer the old movie from the 40s.
Do you binge any recent or even old TV shows or not?
Yeah, since Louis Anderson died, I started watching Baskets again from the beginning.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's
We
still hilarious.
we watch so much random stuff. I know I mentioned BattleBots. Like we have all of these streaming services, but we use them all. We got BattleBots on Discovery Plus. We love that. We're weird. We watch The Amazing Race on Hulu, which is fun. The season we're watching now, they aired 3 episodes and then told everyone, whoops, we can't film anymore because of COVID. And they reconvened 18 months later and started all over again.
Whoa.
That was crazy. So we watched that. What else do we watch? We also watched a lot of Food Network stuff recently, not as much as we used to. And lately, the oddest thing, we have HBO Max, and we discovered Whose Line Is It Anyway is on that streaming service,
Nice.
which I haven't thought about in at least 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's really, really funny.
I should watch that again.
And they have most of the Drew Carey episodes, but I didn't realize a lot of the guys who were doing it in the late 90s are still doing it now.
Whoa, weird.
Yeah, Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery and Wayne Brady, they're still on it.
I didn't know it was still on.
Well, it took a long break in the 2010s, but they're still around. It's just like when you say America's Funniest Home Videos is still airing new episodes and people are like, no.
Yeah.
But it still is. That's what we want.
The throwback, I guess, with the girls we've been watching, Double Dare.
Oh, nice. We have got to show Helena Double Dare.
Yeah, and I guess there was a reboot of that too.
Yes, I believe there was. Lately, I've been watching one of the oldest things I possibly could. I've been watching Little Rascal shorts.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many people who listen to this podcast even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody younger than us probably even watched it.
Well, at least from the 90s movie, though, people might
Yeah.
know.
If you put Little Rascals into Google, almost all your image searches is going to be just from that movie. So I bet there are people who only know that from the 90s film. But I decided, and like we had discussed this off mic recently, that it's a hard thing to get people into now because a lot of it has not aged well. I mean, anything from the 1930s is not gonna age well for the most part.
Yeah, I feel like most things from the past don't age well.
I before we continue, I finally decided to show Helena one of the Our Gang Little Rascals. Those titles are used interchangeably. I finally decided to show her a short, like one of the safest ones I could possibly find. This past Saturday, I sat her down and I'm like, listen, this is something Daddy loved when he was a kid. It's really, really old, but maybe you'll like it. She sat there for 20 minutes staring at the TV emotionless. When it was over and I'm like, what did you think? She's like, I don't know. And she got up and walked away. I guess that's not going to happen. I mean, she likes old stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll watch. She seems to enjoy Looney Tunes. She really loves Duck Amok, and
Nice.
she likes Tom and Jerry. Certain a lot of the more problematic Tom and Jerry's aren't even streaming, but she does like it. She asks for the one with the ice skate in the kitchen, Mouse Follies. She likes that one a lot. So it's not like she doesn't like old stuff, and she loves the Mickey Mouse shorts on Disney Plus. She's always asking to watch like Chef Donald and How to Fish.
Oh yeah, awesome.
I want to watch How to Play Baseball. I want to watch How to Fish. I want to watch The Art of Skiing. I'm like, great. I just wish there was more on Disney Plus. There's so many hundreds of Disney shorts that they just aren't streaming.
Yeah, they have such a tiny selection. But I was gonna say, speaking of like old black and white stuff, we recently showed the girls the Three Stooges.
Oh,
And
that's. I feel like that's an even more of an acquired taste than Little Rascals, because at least Little Rascals has kids in it.
Well, I thought they weren't gonna like it at all, and that they were gonna think it was old or boring, but they were cracking up, which was kind of awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something my daughter would even appreciate, like, at all, but you never know what she's going to get into.
Yeah.
She does like some odd things, but I guess Little Rascals isn't going to be one of them. But she likes Godzilla, so whenever we talk about Godzilla, she goes into her room, grabs her Godzilla toys, brings them into the living room, and plays with them. She has a handful of things. She likes Godzilla and Minya, the baby Godzilla, so at least she likes that.
Aww.
I think I've trained her well. So speaking of things that we all love, this is a Darkwing Duck podcast after all. So today we're talking about issue 7 of the Boom Comics, part 3 of Crisis on Infinite Darkwings. And really quick before we dive deep, general thoughts on this issue.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. And we will explain why. This one came out December 2010, which seems like an eternity ago. I can't believe that. What is that, over 11 years ago now?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like these things are relatively new, and they're absolutely not. So we have 2 covers, again. And once again, our A cover is a James Silvani, and we have Sabrina Alberghetti back for cover B. So, Tiffany, tell us about what cover A looks like.
Cover A has like a standoff between Magica and Morgana, and I absolutely love it. Magica has like red energy emanating from her hands, and Morgana has blue energy emanating from her hands, and right in between them is a like electrified Darkwing Duck.
Is he tiny, or like is he in the background?
I think he's in the background.
The scale is kind of off.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
overlapping.
I'm gonna say that the red energy colliding with the blue energy. I swear, I think this is some sort of Godzilla reference, because James Silvani likes Godzilla, and he has drawn art of Godzilla. And I know I mentioned this years ago on this podcast. Every time Godzilla and Mechagodzilla get together, the red energy and the blue energy always collides. So I feel like this is kind of a reference. I wouldn't be, because knowing Silvani, I wouldn't be shocked at all. It's a cool cover, and it's nothing if not colorful.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's right up your alley. I know that. But then again, we have Sabrina's cover, which I personally prefer. Describe cover B.
Cover B is just like Batman #1.
Number 1.
Yep. And Darkwing in place of Batman, and Scott Gosmoduck in place of Robin.
I checked it alongside the Batman cover. Obviously online, I don't own 90-year-old Batman comics. I wish I did. I'd be a millionaire. But Darkwing's cape is exactly the same flow as Batman's. Like, it's exact.
Yeah, I love it. This one is my iPad background.
And in the original cover, Gotham City was shown as a silhouette, but obviously here it's the St Canard Towers and the Audubon Bridge. And it's a beautiful cover. And Sabrina, like, she gets how Darkwing Duck is supposed to look.
Yeah.
That look of befuddlement on his face is perfect. I think Sabrina's favorite Darkwing episodes were drawn by Australia, because that's exactly how her Darkwings look.
Yeah.
It's really great stuff. But both covers are great. It's really one of those situations where you can't go wrong with either. It just depends on what your preference is. All right, so let's get started with issue 7 here. Tiffany, start us off. How do we start?
We start with a random St. Canard citizen running through the city in fear, out of breath, trips over a
baby carriage.
Yeah, baby carriage or stroller.
Yeah, stroller.
And, and she turns and you see alternate universe Darkwings, but as Universal Monsters.
I love it.
Yeah, I love this too.
Who do we got?
You got the Mummy, Dracula, Gilman, and the Wolfman.
I love the inclusion of the Gilman.
Yeah, totally.
And she's saved by
the crime bots, or the hero bots.
The hero bots. They're here. And speaking of a hero, next page is an amazing 2-page spread of Launchpad. He's out of his Quackwork suit. He's flying the Thunder Quack. And him and the crime bots, the hero bots, I guess both of us have this problem, are fighting the Flying Monkey Darkwings and the Gold Surfer Darkwing. And it's a really nice spread. Yeah. Shockingly, there are no references or jokes. It's just Launchpad and the hero bots fighting the Darkwings. Yep. Although there's a water tower in the background, bottom right, that says no swimming on it. Who would climb into a water tower and go, unless you're the Warner Brothers, Yakko, Wacko, and Die, yeah. There is no reason to climb into a water tower. But it's a really beautiful piece of art. It doesn't quite get close to what we had last issue when they unleashed the Darkwings, but this is still really cool.
And again, you got the nice rain effects.
Mm-hmm. Again, what you can't do digitally. Okay, so here we are at the Mallard House. And what's happening here, Tiffany?
Darkwing is confused still about where all these Darkwings are coming from. He's talking to Morgana. Morgana is confused because she felt, she's talking about feeling the presence under the water. And you see outside that Quiverwing Darkwing is lurking and spying on them.
Right. I want to mention right away that although there's a couple of pieces of dialogue that's changed for Joe Books, nothing significant. Although the bottom of this page, Morgana starts to use alliteration, and then goes, oh, "Now you got me doing it."
That's awesome.
Which is neat. It's a cool change. There is a change later for Joe Books that actually is not as good. It's one of those rare misses. I'll mention it when we get there. So yeah, Quiverwing Duck. We get actually an entire page with no dialogue, which is really rare for this comic. What's going on in this completely dialogue-free page?
You got him climbing up into a tree, lurking around the side. He jumps down off the house and he sees 2 shovels and a pile of dirt, and you see 2 signs that say Honker and Goslin's Path to China, have passports ready.
That is just perfect. That is such a great Darkwing Duck joke.
Yeah, reminds me of Kung Fu.
Yeah, maybe Goslin's like, "Hey Honk, there's this kid in China who looks just like you. Let's go check it out. His name is Duck Ling." And then Honker got on her case for being completely racist. That episode, out of all Darkwing Duck episodes, that one probably holds up the worst from that standpoint. But it's not terrible. There are much worse Rescue Rangers. But yeah. So, okay, so we go to the next page. Darkwing is still trying to figure out what's going on. And who should pop up from the spinning easy chair but Quiverwing Duck? And what happens next, Tiff?
He shoots him with arrows and pins him against the wall. And you see Morgana trying to fight him with her magic. And you see that Magica has a spell on him to repel all magic. So it doesn't
there's a little bit where she says, "Not in our house, twerp." And Darkwing's like, "Our house?"
Yeah, I love that.
Which I was expecting that to change for Joe Books, because it's kind of awkward that she'd say that, but they didn't change it, which means someone thinks it's cool, and I'm fine with it.
I like that. That's kind of a classic Morgana Darkwing exchange.
Mm-hmm. I can picture Jim saying, "Our house?"
Yeah.
So Morgana gets knocked out. Darkwing starts fighting Quiverwing Duck. And then this next page, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 panels of their fight. And like 8 of them are like the same shot. If it was an episode, it'd be like just one shot. And Darkwing here realizes you're attacking this house. That gives me an idea who you're working for. So here, Darkwing figures it out, that who is behind this. Because who knows where he lives?
Wait,
Tiff?
are you I thought you were gonna finish the sentence.
No, yeah. Negaduck. Did I lose you for a second?
No, I thought you were gonna say it.
I'm sorry. No, it's we know he has it figured out. Although in the Joe Books version, he doesn't say this. They leave the Negaduck reveal a little bit later. But I do love the line of action that happens here. Like, can you describe how this plays out?
The fight?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because it's mostly visual. But
Yeah.
what happens here?
So Quiverwing shoots an arrow that looks like a boomerang arrow, and it swishes around. It gets Darkwing's cape, and it's got his cape against the wall. Darkwing jumps and bounces off the arrow like he's gonna jump on top of Quiverwing Duck, but his cape snags and chokes him, and he falls to the ground.
And then the boomerang arrow that went all the way around the house comes back and hits Quiverwing Duck.
Oh,
Knocks him in. That's what happens.
Yeah, okay.
Which is not, you can't follow that. I only just realized that's what happened. So Quiverwing gets thrown into the fireplace. We see a couple of framed pictures land on him. One of them has Drake, Goslin, and Launchpad wearing Mickey Mouse ears, because of course they are. And then we get something a little bit weird. He has a bit of a flashback. What is he flashing back to, Tiffany?
You see him, and he's kind of like in a film noir type trench coat outfit with Quiverwing Quack, and you see that Quiverwing actually got killed, and he says, "In your honor, I will take your place as Quiverwing Duck."
This is dark. And it's not played for laughs at all. It's not like you had mentioned the secret origin of Darkwing Duck, which I know we mentioned a few episodes back, when she's got like the soda belly and she's like keeps coming back to life. This isn't that. This is just dead Goslin, like laying there dead.
In the shadow, her face in the shadow.
It's a little much, but it's not awful. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine this ever being in a Darkwing Duck episode.
Oh, God, no.
So it's a little weird, but I don't really have a problem with it story-wise, I guess.
They don't dwell on it, and they don't go back to it. So
Yeah.
I guess it's fine. But getting knocked into the fireplace takes away the trance. So Quiverwing Duck knows who he is now and gets out of there. He leaves the house. So they decide to follow him, but Morgana has realized who else is behind this. And who is it, Tiffany?
Wait. I think you...
Magica.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought you skipped ahead to what happened.
Not that far.
You know what I'm talking about. Okay.
And
so,
she says...
He realizes it's Magica and asks if Launchpad ever told Darkwing about Magica.
And Darkwing says, doesn't ring a bell, but his mouth was probably full of chili fries or pretzels if he did. That sounds a lot like Launchpad. So we check in on Goslin, who we haven't seen yet in this issue. She's got Honker with her.
Yep.
Nice to finally see Honker.
And he has kind of a makeshift armor made from kitchen appliance or kitchenware.
Including a colander on his head. But Goslin's captured another monster.
Yeah, like a Frankenstein duck. Franken-duck.
Yep, so now we got them all. I think except for the Invisible Man Darkwing. We got them all. In some universe, maybe the Abbott and Costello Darkwing and Launchpad are meeting all these guys. So Another one of the interdimensional Darkwings has gotten out of his trance. That's the Gillman Darkwing, who has decided to throw himself on the mercy of this reality's justice system.
And I like how he has like this super proper voice.
Hey there, young lady. Yeah, exactly. And he also mentions that he was down in the sewer trying to get away, and whatever he saw down there, the horror that resides in your water supply.
Yeah.
We know who that is, but they're really building this guy up. So, meanwhile, Darkwing and Morgana are, they're on the Ratcatcher, driving down the streets, and St. Canard is a mess right now. Like the worst it's ever looked.
Yeah, and you see stuff flying around.
Yeah, we got some more Darkwing monkeys.
Yeah, so, there's a ton of those guys.
So they're following Quiverwing Duck's aura, and Darkwing seems a little bothered by it, but she's like, "Oh, come on! Like you're gonna date a normal girl." And again, he calls her Honey Bunch.
Yeah, no Honey Wumpus again.
It should be Honey Wumpus. I'm sorry.
Maybe change that in the.
Nope, it's still Honey Bunch.
That's weird.
I know. Everybody who's anybody knows it's Honey Wumpus. I thought I was a little Honey Wumpus. So they have to stop because all these crime bots, and a lot of them are wearing like hats from their professions,
Yeah.
Including one's a matador, and one's got the cowboy hat because he has a really strange way of enjoying the weekend, and one has like a Christmas stocking on his head.
Yep, and then like Ninja Turtle ones.
I know, one's got a sai, one's got like a staff, and one of them's got like every Ninja Turtle weapon or something, like a Ninja Turtle bandana on its head back there.
Yep.
But before they do anything, Gosmoduck shows up, knocks them all out, and Darkwing says she can come, but Honker has to stay home.
Where it's slightly less dangerous.
Yeah, because, Mickey could put tinfoil in the microwave again. Or Tank might blow up the house with seismospheres. You never know what'll happen in the Muddlefoot house. So this next page has 6 panels with Darkwing, Gosalyn, and Morgana waiting in an elevator. And the elevator's not moving. And Darkwing's like, stupid thing, go. And then Wolfman Darkwing jumps on top of the elevator and they all drop down to the next level. I like how it just takes a second to breathe.
Yeah.
Like Morgana's rubbing her eyes, getting out of her trance. They're looking around. Gosalyn picks up the visor on the helmet. It's great. I do love this.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult, I think, to have good comedic timing in a comic book.
And this is where the Joe Books version actually adds something that doesn't work as well. Because remember I said they took away Darkwing realizing it was Negaduck?
Yep.
Well, when he shows up in the cloud of smoke, they add a word bubble saying, Negaduck, you're behind all this. I should have known. Which Darkwing doesn't talk before he shows up in a cloud of smoke and does his entrance.
Yeah.
It's super, super clunky. But he has an entrance. Tiffany, what's his entrance?
He says, I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the TV crossover that doesn't live up to the hype.
So, oddly, Joe Books, Definitively Dangerous, changes the entrance to something he said on the show. He says, I am the special news report that interrupts your favorite show.
Whoa.
He said that on the show.
Yep.
I don't remember the episode, but I remember exactly how he says it.
Mm-hmm.
I am the special news report that interrupts your favorite show. Just like that, yeah. So no way. I just don't know the episode, but I know he said it. Before he can finish saying Darkwing Duck, Magica hits him with a foof bomb, very true to the Barks comics. And she sizes them up. And what does she call Morgana?
A cheap ripoff of her.
Yeah, which really pisses
love.
Morgana off. So Morgana and Magica start to fight. Gosalyn starts to fight Wolfman Darkwing. And then, of course, we get our big showdown between Negaduck and Darkwing, and we start to get more of the sharp teeth on Negaduck again. And he pulls out, what does he pull out?
His chainsaw.
His chainsaw. He goes, and let's play. Very cool. So Morgana pulls out something called the Source Absorber.
Magica.
Magica, yeah. Did I say Morgana?
Yeah.
Their names are very similar.
I know.
The Source Absorber, at least the one she's holding right now, has Jack Skellington and Oogie Boogie on it. And then she zaps Morgana with it, gets her power, and my goodness, the armor she's wearing right now is covered in skulls of various Disney villains. We need to name them all. We're not sure if all of them are correct, but we're definitely going to name them. The ones I can see are the Queen from Snow White, Jafar. I see Captain Hook. Who do you see?
Maleficent, Yzma, Chernbog, and Ursula.
And Hades.
And Hades.
And at the tip of her staff, we think that's Prince John. But if it was, why isn't it a lion's skull?
Yeah, this looks like his crown, but it's a human skull or human.
And there is one other skull on her right foot that we can't quite make out. Maybe it's the Horned King. It's obscure, but I put nothing past James Silvani. So Darkwing and Negaduck are fighting. He's got the gas gun. Negaduck has a chainsaw. Negaduck switches to a mace. Darkwing switches to his fists. Negaduck cuts a safe. So it's very cartoony. Like, things are flying everywhere. It's pretty cool. And so Negaduck makes a comment about how great he is. He has this master plan is to get rid of all Darkwing Ducks and control the multiverse with them. And I do like this bit, which is also very true to the show. Darkwing's like, you think you know all my moves, huh? He slides under Negaduck. Negaduck's like, what? And Darkwing's like, exactly, and pulls his hat over his face.
Yep.
But again, we get all the drawings of Negaduck have the sharp teeth, and I think this is it. It's all going to be drawn like this now. Goslin's struggling. What's happening with Goslin?
She's still fighting Wolf Duck, and she uses the what do you call it? Punching bag? Wait, what do you call it?
Boxing glove.
Boxing glove.
Which Gosmoduck did have on Darkwing Duck. Remember the end of Up in Her Eye? He banged Darkwing with it right in the face. Goslin makes a weird comment that this
had it in something else too.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Goslin makes an odd comment that she says it's like the suit is working against me, which I don't understand.
Me either. I was just gonna say, like, that part's a little confusing.
They clarify the dialogue a bit more in Joe books, but she still says it. So I don't exactly know. They really end up mishandling Gosmoduck in these comics. Like, especially when we get to Dangerous Currency, that's a complete disaster. Have you read those yet?
Nope.
We are making that happen somehow. And then Wolfman Darkwing slashes open the armor, so Goslin's down for the count.
Which is a little intense too, that panel.
Yeah, I guess if it wasn't Goslin, it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
So we're starting to wrap up here. So as Morgana's getting zapped by Magica, what does she have a vision of? This is great.
Yeah, she starts to see what the presence is that's under the water.
And she slowly builds up to it.
Yeah. And she says it's something that came into the city in chains. It possessed Mr. Banana Brain. And I mean, if you didn't get it from the first panel of that, then
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Because we actually get 4 panels that are like taking straight from the haunting of Mr. Banana Brain. Will, wish you were here. The first panel is obviously from the Toy Museum with Paddywhack looking out of the Jack-in-the-Box. But of course, Silvani hides some Toy Story references. We got one of the aliens. We got the Pixar ball. We got Buzz Lightyear and I believe Potato Head. The next panel is Quackerjack and Banana Brain up on the roof. Then we got Darkwing with the levitating chair from the hideout. And finally, this perfectly drawn fish, just like straight from the episode,
Totally.
about to eat the Jack in the Box. So brilliant callback to the episode, like one of the best, like definitely getting a lot of love here.
And I love that they did that anyway, because that episode is definitely set up to be something that comes back, and it just never happened on the show.
I feel like if they had gotten another season or two, if ABC had been generous, maybe they would have brought him back.
Yeah.
So how do we wrap up, Tiffany?
So, okay. So, yeah, where do we leave off?
They throw a lot at us these last 2 pages.
The fish. So, yeah, you see Launchpad, and he's still fighting flying monkeys. I mean, flying Darkwings.
Flying monkey Darkwings.
Yeah. Morgana says the really bad ones always come back, and you see a sinister shadow coming up through the water.
Again, if you don't know who this is, I can't help you.
You see Darkwing and Negaduck punching each other at exactly the same time, which I love that panel too.
Yep.
And
now
what?
You turn the page, and what do you get?
And then you see Paddywhack in all his glory under the water.
Paddywhack is coming to supper. And he's under the water. There's a bunch of bubbles of a lot of other characters. You know, Darkwing and Negaduck fighting, Magica and Morgana fighting, Goslin Launchpad, you know, a few of the Darkwing variants, Honker. But Silvani being Silvani, since they're underwater, name the 3 fish underwater Disney references he throws in there.
You see Dory, you see Cleo, and you see Sebastian, all looking terrified.
He just couldn't help himself. But a beautiful last page.
Yeah, but I have to say, I don't think he's drawing Paddywhack with spindly enough legs.
Oh, he should be super skinny. The arms should be longer too.
Yeah, he's a little thick.
He's a little thick. Well, he's been feeding on misery.
Yeah.
The people of St. Canard he's been feeding on their, dragging them under the water and feeding on their misery.
Yeah,
I have thoughts. Yeah. I have thoughts on how Paddywhack is being used, but I think I'll save that till next issue because it makes no sense to go into it here. But this is truly a fantastic issue. It's got so much cool stuff happening in it. I'll let you rate it first.
I would give it a 5.
Okay.
5.
Why is that? Explain your rating, miss.
I think, again, I'll probably say this for every issue. It's beautifully drawn.
Which it is.
I think that there's nothing wrong with the dialogue. I like the dialogue. There's some funny moments, and there's a lot of like silent-ish moments that work really well with great timing, even though that's a weird thing to say in a comic book.
Well, there's a lot of moments that feel like they're trying to write for a cartoon.
Yeah.
They'll fight between Darkwing and Quiverwing, and then in the elevator, it's definitely set up as if it was storyboard panels.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's great.
There's
content too.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
Just the content in general, like what's happening in the story. I think it's great.
See, I will say that the comic has a ton of vitality right now. In both the characters, the visuals, the dialogue, but they're also throwing a lot at you right now. So I think in comparison to what we get in this story arc and Duck Knight Returns, I think they blow all their best stuff in these first 8 issues. And I think the later issues do suffer for it. But where we are now, I'm giving this one a 4.5. So right at the same score as last week's got. Beautiful art, some great action scenes, more Negaduck, the return of a villain we've been waiting a long time to see, some great jokes, the passage to China, all that stuff is great. So yeah, this is really getting good. I
they're probably still in that mindset of not knowing when the comic's going to end and wanting to do as much as possible.
That is true. When you don't know if the story arc is going to be your last, you throw a lot of stuff at it. And that's how Darkwing Duck comics tend to go. You're like always one issue away from getting canceled, I feel like. So that's issue 7. Next week we have issue 8 wrapping up Crisis on Infinite Darkwing. We'll see what Paddywhack's up to. We get a pretty cool end fight. And but that's next week. If you haven't read it yet, please read it before you listen to our episode so you know what's going on. But yeah, so we are the St Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast. You can find us on all podcast apps, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, iTunes. You can watch us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Facebook as well. And, of course, you can join our communities on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, and Instagram. Tiffany, how can our fans and folks at home find you? And you have anything to plug?
Yeah, I am on Instagram at Tiffany Silverbraun and at Regurgitating Gertie for my fan art, and I'm on YouTube at Radioactivity.
Awesome. All right, well, I guess that's it for tonight. Everybody, until next time, stay dangerous.
Bye.
And have a happy Valentine's Day, honey wumpuses. Good night, everyone.